Well, you know, it's embarrassing to tell you this. This is the third time I've owned this very beautiful watch, and I'm going to explain why it's so important that I get it a third time, and why this time I will be keeping it. I'll be telling you what lessons I learned. This is the Citizen Grand Touring NB0070-57E, and I can see that the light is going to shine on my watch, and that's not going to make me happy if I see a light bulb shining on my watch. So let's see what we can say about this. Well, as you know, as I just told you, I've had this watch twice before. This is the third time I've owned it. There have been some changes. Let's talk about two changes. One, over the last year or so, my acclimation to smaller watches. And this is crazy. Some of you guys are looking at this and you're going, what? Small watch? What? And yeah, it's 44 millimeters and it plays pretty big with that crown guard. It's not as big as the sport version of the crown guard. And then it's got that double domed sapphire, which adds to its presence. And so for me, you know, a 44 millimeter watch is the new 48. And I'm finding that some of the bigger watches that I've been drawn to, especially if they have thick cases, they just don't work for me anymore. They just don't seem age appropriate. They seem too gonzo. I've discussed this on some earlier videos. And so that's one thing. The second thing I want to say about the other two times I own this watch is you have to realize this watch right now is number 7 in my rotation. The previous two times I had this watch, my collection was way too big. It was more than double what it is right now. And we probably need a lexicon term. What do you say about the watch collector who, when his collection gets too big, he can't process all the watches? It's like watch bloat overload, a watch bloat short-circuiting of the brain. I swear to God, if my collection gets too big, I just can't enjoy. I just don't have enough. I don't have enough chi. I don't know. I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough whatever in my brain to give all the watches the attention and appreciation they deserve. So now, with 7 watches, I feel like I'm positioned to enjoy this watch. Now, Johnny Casual did make a video about this a month ago or so. He said, you know, if you're not wearing your watches, if you have too many in your rotation, and for whatever reason you're not wearing them, you just become blind to their value to you, and then you sell them, and then people out there get them, and then you regret it. And so you really, whatever your watch rotation is, you need to wear those watches and acclimate to them and learn to enjoy them. So I'm down to 7, and let's do a review of this watch in terms of look, appeal, comfort, build quality, build integrity, lume, versatility, wrist presence, and value. Well, as far as the appearance goes, as far as the look appeal goes, well, I mean, either you love it or you don't. I like the clean look of it. I like the 44 millimeter size. I like the presence that you get with some of the Panerai influences, as you can see here. I also like the double dome sapphire look. There is a shine to this. It's almost like a sunburst shine on the this dark charcoal dial that that really does pop on the wrist. The treatment of the numbers is very unusual. As you can see, the 12 is a numeral, and you can see it on the 3, the 6, and the 9. And you got those other markers. It's very unusual. And for me, I'm giving it an A. It's clean. It's minimalistic. I find that the sport version with the bigger crown guard is a little busier, more of a hodgepodge. I don't have it here. I sold it. I was having some comfort issues. Now here's a busier watch. Here's your Citizen Promaster. It's much busier, and same size as this one. But as you can see, even though they're the same size, that big domed sapphire on the Citizen Grand Touring just gives it a bigger size, bigger look on the wrist. Johnny's in the market for a black watch, and I'm warning him that no matter how good a black watch looks on video or on photos, when you get a black watch, real world wrist presence is such that you lose a lot of detail, because you're looking at it from a distance, and so a lot of detail that you admire in a black watch is going to get lost when you wear it in real world. So it might be something to consider, especially if you're spending if you're looking to spend a lot of money on a black watch. It's something to consider. Now, this Promaster, you can get these for a little under $800 right now, and there's some Seiko models, Astrons, that are going for about $1,500 or so. Be careful because of the loss of detail. Well, I just thought I'd insert that, a little parenthetical exposition on my part. Let's look at the comfort. The comfort of the Citizen Grand Touring is A. It fits as comfortably as my Seiko Sumo, perhaps a little bit more so. There's absolutely no comfort problems. The crown guard is not too big. It does not dig into my wrist. I think I like the two watches side by side. You get a better sense of the scale. Build quality. This is a Tier 3 watch with sapphire, Miyota's highest grade movement, the 9012. The refinement is spectacular. I guess I should say this right now. One of my viewers owns this watch, and he owns an Omega, and I'm just going to quote him. He swears to God that the quality's the same. I don't own an Omega. I can't talk about it. But I find that encouraging. I find that very encouraging that he owns an Omega, and he owns the Citizen Grand Touring, the very one I'm showing here, and he swears to God that the quality is the same. So I'll leave that up to you. Even if even if you don't want to believe that, that's very encouraging to hear that from an Omega owner. That's very encouraging. The build integrity. There's nothing on this watch where they shortchanged you or where they made compromises. The build quality is excellent. The loom. This is not a loom monster, but it's more than adequate. I'll give the loom a B. Versatility. Well, this is a very refined watch. I think you can wear this with jeans or dress up, but this is clearly not something I'm wearing as a sport watch. So as far as versatility goes, you can call it a B+ or A-, but you're not buying this to be a sport watch, so I don't really want to take off grade points in that presence. Wrist presence. For 44 millimeters, you're talking to a man who grew up on the Captain Crunch of watches, wearing 60mm watches. Just a little kid at heart wearing these big, fat, disgusting watches, which finally became an embarrassment to me. And I have to tell you, the 44, I'm a 6-foot person, about 235 pounds. This is very significant wrist presence, and especially because of the double-domed sapphire. So I'm giving the wrist presence an A. Value. Well, even if you don't want to make the claim that it's equivalent in quality to an Omega, the value of a watch that's going right now on eBay for between $650 and $700, it has to be an A. Even if we disregard the whole Omega comparison thing, just looking at it on its own terms, I'd give the value an A grade. So here I am, 7 watches in my rotation. I've learned my lesson that I just can't have a big collection. I can't have 15 watches in my collection. I can't have 20. I don't know. I can't even process what I have. And if you can have a big collection and enjoy it, more power to you. It doesn't work for me. I sold this watch twice when my collection was, close to 20, because it just got lost in the shuffle. And now that I have a collection of 7, I really appreciate it. Can we use a cliche? Sometimes less is more. And I've learned that with my watch collection. I've learned it in terms of the size of my collection, and I've learned the same principle in terms of the size of the watches. you know, 44 millimeters for me is my new favorite dimension in a watch. And what am I wearing as I do this? I'm wearing my Sumo, but I'm not going to stick it in the camera because we'll lose focus. So that's it. I've got my collection cycle appears to be complete. I don't know where I'm going from here, but I just wanted to show you what I consider to be a masterpiece. It's just such a clean yet bold watch. It knows what it wants to look like. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy that my rotation is down to 7 watches. I don't know where my watch collection is going from here. I don't know what kind of crazy monologue videos I'll be making from here, but bear with me. I'm very pleased to show this to you, and until next time, I am out.